the anxiety pandemic, uncovering the deeper root causes of anxiety, addictions, and procrastination. In recent times, I've seen a growing number of young people approaching me with a wide range of health concerns. Some speak of chronic fatigue, others of persistent insomnia, digestive disturbances, or lingering depression. Yet, beneath this collection of symptoms, there is one thread that repeatedly emerges: a deep, pervasive sense of anxiety. Anxiety is everywhere, like a hidden current running beneath the surface of modern life. It doesn't matter what someone's main complaint is, there always seems to be some level of anxiety hiding underneath. And the strange part is, most people don't even know why they feel that way. They just know that something doesn't feel right. Many of them wonder why we seem unable to resist the pull of our phones, why we scroll endlessly, jumping from one post or headline to the next, often gripped by a sense of restlessness and a fear of missing out, FOMO. In today's world, this quiet unease surfaces in subtle, intricate ways that are not easily understood. In the pages ahead, we attempt to illuminate some of the deeper causes of this growing inner disquiet, called anxiety. So what is anxiety, really? At its root, anxiety is a slow, deep realization that one is not safe, even if there is no clear danger in sight. It's not the kind of fear you get when you see a car speeding toward you. It's quieter, more constant. It whispers, something's wrong. You're not secure. And in today's world, that message is being fed into us in many powerful, often invisible ways. And there are the things we can't even see. We are surrounded by invisible waves of energy, radio frequencies from satellites, constant electromagnetic fields, EMFs, from Wi-Fi routers, cell phone towers, and even the wiring in our walls. Most of us don't even think about these things, but our cells do. Our bodies, finely tuned by nature, feel the effects. And when cells are exposed to this constant radiation, without any break, they react. They become stressed. They sense a kind of invisible attack. Scientists have even done experiments showing that mold, when placed in a petri dish near Wi-Fi, becomes far more toxic. Normally, mold just grows, but in the presence of Wi-Fi signals, it starts to panic. It produces hundreds of times more toxins, trying to defend itself. It doesn't know where the threat is coming from, only that something is attacking it. And in trying to protect itself, it ends up becoming dangerous to humans. Scientists from the National Toxicology Program found that exposure to radio frequency radiation, RFR, was associated with increased DNA damage. Specifically, they observed significant DNA damage in the following areas: the frontal cortex of male mice, responsible for decision-making, the blood cells of female mice, the hippocampus of male rats, which is crucial for memory storage and retrieval. Now think, how do our cells and our beneficial gut bacteria respond if a microbe reacts this way? Something doesn't feel quite right. And there are the things we can even see, but through a microscope. Our diets today are increasingly toxic. Much of our food is genetically modified, sprayed with chemicals, or stripped of nutrients. On top of this, our bodies are being infiltrated by hidden invaders: viruses, microbes, molds, and parasites, many of which thrive in the weakened, inflamed internal environments we unknowingly create. Some parasites are known to directly influence human brain function. This idea is thoroughly explored in This Is Your Brain on Parasites by Kathleen McAuliffe. This toxic load doesn't always cause immediate, obvious symptoms. Instead, it triggers a silent cytokine storm, a chronic, low-grade inflammation that keeps the immune system in a state of constant alarm. The body panics quietly, sensing that something is deeply wrong, even if we don't yet feel it consciously. In response to these hidden stressors, we often suppress symptoms with immunosuppressants like prednisone, hydrocortisone, histamine blockers, or painkillers. But these drugs do not resolve the root issue, they only postpone the alarm. The immune system, much like the anxious mind, knows the danger hasn't passed. It remains on edge, in limbo, in a kind of burned-out vigilance, exhausted by trying to fight off a problem it's no longer allowed to address. The nervous system, too, absorbs this burden. It reflects a deeper unease, one that the body carries but the conscious mind has numbed. A quiet sense of unease lingers. This is where the parallel becomes clear. Just as an anxious person procrastinates on dealing with the thing they fear, the body too is forced into a cycle of medical procrastination. Symptoms are suppressed, but the root cause is never acknowledged. Healing is delayed, and the unrest deepens. What emerges is not just a physical illness, but a psychoneuroimmunological pattern, the immune system behaving like a fearful, overwhelmed mind. In both cases, there is a deep, wordless knowing. Something is not right. Something must be corrected. But instead of acting, we sedate it. This is not true healing, it is deferment. And over time, the cost of postponement is high, both for the soul and for the cells. This constant exposure, whether it's to toxins, microbes, stressful news, social pressure, or invisible radiation, keeps our nervous system on high alert. It's like our bodies are always bracing for something, even if we don't know what. Over time, this leads to a dysregulated immune system, anxiety disorders, and even physical illness. It's not just us who are anxious. Our cells, our microbes, even the mold in our walls are panicking. Everything is overstimulated. Everything is reacting. An invisible discomfort seems to persist. And there are the things we can't stop seeing. Now think about social media. It was supposed to connect us, but it often ends up doing the opposite. We scroll endlessly, trying to keep up, trying to stay in control by knowing what's going on in the world. But instead of feeling calm, we often feel more nervous, more behind, more unsure of ourselves. We're constantly comparing our lives to the filtered lives of others. The result? A constant low-level panic, a sense that we're not enough, not safe, not okay. There is a deep underlying sense of unease that we are wasting away our precious life by looking at what others are doing. When the nervous system becomes overstimulated, many turn to numbing strategies such as painkillers, sleeping aids, alcohol, or antidepressants like SSRIs in an attempt to quiet the inner chaos. And there are much deeper causes. Recently, while reading the philosopher Martin Heidegger, I came across an idea that deeply resonated with me. He explores a profound dimension of anxiety, one that surprisingly echoes traditional understandings. Heidegger speaks of guilt and angst, but not in the usual moral sense of having done something wrong. Instead, he refers to a deeper existential guilt, a restless unease that arises when we sense we're not living the life we were truly meant to live. He describes this feeling as the call of conscience. It's not meant to punish us, but to awaken us, to stir us into aligning with our authentic purpose. Heidegger believed that this guilt is what drives us forward. It pushes us to face our potential, to stop running from the things we know deep down we were meant to do. This inner unrest is not a flaw, it's a signal, a sacred message from within. Experiencing the call of conscience can disclose to Dacian, human essence, its own guilt, should, as the debt it has to itself in virtue of having taken over pre-given possibilities that it is now Dacian's own responsibility to maintain. Heidegger. So maybe anxiety isn't a mental illness to fix with pills. Maybe it's not just a chemical imbalance. Maybe it's a message. Maybe it's the soul's cry, a quiet alarm that we are off course, a reminder that we are not living in alignment with truth, purpose, or nature. But instead of listening to that signal, many people turn to things like marijuana, alcohol, and other addictions, hoping it will calm them down. And maybe for a little while it does. But it also confuses the brain's natural chemistry, dulls the message, and takes people further away from clarity. When the anxiety comes back stronger, they go to a doctor or psychiatrist and are often prescribed SSRIs, drugs that try to shut the signal down altogether. But the soul cannot be silenced with chemicals. This modern approach, distract, numb, ignore, only covers up the real issue. The truth is still there, buried under the medication, waiting to be heard. Heidegger reminds us that if we really listen to the call of conscience, we'll discover that this guilt is not something to be ashamed of. It is a kind of sacred responsibility, a debt we owe to ourselves. We were each given one life with unique gifts, unique paths. And when we ignore that, the anxiety comes not to harm us, but to guide us back. So what if, instead of running from anxiety, we started to listen to it? What if we saw it not as an enemy, but as a teacher, a warning light, compass, a sign that our nervous systems, our environments, and even our thoughts need healing? that we need to stop numbing and start remembering who we really are. Because anxiety, when understood, is not a disease. It is the doorway to transformation. The comfort of endless scrolling offers a dirt-cheap, effortless dopamine surge. Any new or demanding task can feel like an unbearable burden now. When instant gratification is always within reach, what motivation remains to pursue the slower, deeper rewards of strenuous exercise, disciplined study, or meaningful work? And yet, these very efforts, though more difficult, are the ones that generate a richer kind of pleasure, the kind rooted in growth, mastery, and purpose. They offer not just fleeting satisfaction, but long-term fulfillment and the chance to truly make something of one's life. Conclusion: many people today are being misled and, in some cases, unintentionally harmed by those they turn to for healing. This includes not only medical doctors and psychiatrists, but also psychotherapists, psychologists, and emotional wellness coaches. Each of these professionals may offer valuable tools, but when the root cause of suffering runs deep, no single modality is enough. Human suffering is not one-dimensional, and healing cannot be approached through a single lens. When a person's condition worsens, whether it's chronic illness, emotional breakdown, or existential despair, they require care that touches every layer of their being. This includes the physical body, but also the energetic field, the emotional landscape, the mental and cognitive frameworks, and the often neglected intellectual and spiritual dimension. True and lasting healing arises only when all these aspects are acknowledged and integrated. We must move beyond compartmentalized care and toward a whole-person approach that sees the individual not just as a patient or a diagnosis, but as a complex, interconnected system of body, mind, and much, much more.